an iconic horror franchise that has made so many people wear their brown pants, including me.
This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
For some reason, we had a long-running movie franchise that were basically completely unconnected to the games, so we finally got a reboot that actually followed the games. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of I'm Upset That This Guy's More Successful Than Me.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
So this is basically a straight adaptation from the first two games.
Wow.
And I've played the second game, and Biohazard and Village, and a big fan of the second in particular, so it's really cool to see this coming to life. Even if it doesn't always have the budget.
Asking for your financial support.
Although, whenever I get to Resi 5, I need to see this in movie form. It's a surprisingly nice looking movie if you ignore the CGI. The CGI is dreadful.
No! No!
The camera work and the actual look of the film is nice. I don't know, it creates a Resident Evil vibe that I like. It recreates the same feeling from the second one when we're in the second one, like, story. But it was very clear that they did not have the budget for a Resi movie, which is a shame, but they went ahead and tried anyway. And as a fan, I got to see a Licker pull off a really gnarly kill and see Birkin walk around with a giant iron arm, so my little monkey brain did just enjoy that. And this shitty CGI kind of made it stupidly fun in a way. I wasn't expecting loads from this movie. I mean, the trailer didn't do much to excite me other than the fact that it could be bloody. All the marketing came out when I was playing Resi 2 for the first time, so it was exciting. But I didn't expect much and I wanted to have a fun time. And I did for most of the wrong reasons. But back to the CGI, they look like game graphics lifted from the game into the movie. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And it is so odd looking when the girl, I forgot the character's name, shit. But when she rips off a Licker's head at a point in the movie, it's a good scene because it pays off something earlier on in the story. And it's actually one of the good scenes of the movie. But it looks kind of hilarious. It looks so odd. Like, I can't explain it, but it's incredibly charring. But what was the budget of this movie, actually? It had a budget of 25 million. The last franchise had up to 65 million? What?
25 years and my life is still. We have to contain this.
Probably one of the more lackluster elements of this movie. For some reason, Leon is a little bitch.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
I feel like it was a major miscast, and it's a weird decision. But then Claire is an absolute badass and is almost entirely in line with the game, I think. And in my defense, I'm still playing through Claire's story, so I'll probably learn and maybe change my mind later on. But yeah, and Claire's really well acted though, and really well written in my opinion. And she's probably the best. She's without a doubt, actually, for me, the best character. And Chris Redfield is cast well as well, and those two are the best characters together. The rest of the cast is basically miscast. Not all performances are necessarily bad, but I didn't even realise that this was meant to be Jill fucking Valentine. Why is she in this movie? I mean, I don't know if she's in the first game, I assume so. But I'm not the most educated on Resi lore.
The lore! Bring the lore alarms!
But I am enough to know they must have been expecting a sequel to include her as a background character. I know she's the main protagonist of Resi 3 and she's in Dead by Daylight now as well, so I'm a big fan. There are no real arcs or characters that I was invested in, other than Claire, which I barely was, and there's going to be a bit of bias because I like the games, but it's a shame because Claire is cast pretty perfectly in my opinion. And I genuinely just can't get over Leon. The actor, for what is written, he does well. But I don't understand why he's written like that. Leon's kind of like, yeah, he's a rookie in the game, but he's pretty confident and he's an action hero. He is constantly shitting himself and fucking up in this movie until he shoots the big CGI blob at the end with a rocket launcher, which comes really out of nowhere and like does not suit who he's been throughout this film. I don't... The movie expects you to know and have played every game to care and enjoy this movie. And it is the biggest case of fan service I think I've ever seen. I mean, you can do fan service right. No Way Home handles it pretty well. Dr. Sleep handles it Dr. Sleep is the perfect example that comes to mind of how to handle fan service. You could have that last location anywhere, but the story builds up to it being the Overlook, and it's like a payoff and fan service for the audience. There are so many moments that are just to be like, hey, look at me, I'm from the game. And there are parts that I don't mind, because I am a fan of what I have played. The lack of any real characters except for Claire and Chris, with their relationship and their life from when they were children, and even with them expects you to know who they are. And it is massive fan service throughout. You take the fan service out and I reckon it's potentially a 15-minute film. It expects your investment to already be there, but this isn't the game. The same way I'm not going to be automatically invested in the Dead Space reboot, you know? The same with any media. If it's a new media, and even if it was like a sequel with Leon and Claire, I'd be partially invested, but it needs to get me invested again. Like, it's an adaptation of the game, so it's not directly related to what happened in the game, so you can't expect me to automatically be invested. So I do not understand why they mashed two games together. Resi 1 is an 11-hour story and Resi 2 is 8.5 hours. You can't mash that into an hour and a half in any way. That is one of the most bizarre decisions I've ever seen, and it makes both stories just forced to be underdeveloped. Why would you do this? It makes about as much sense as Rise Scum existing, so by that I mean none.
Yeah, but did it feel good though?
They clash and feel forcefully overlapped at the end. I don't get it. You can tell this movie was made by a fan, so it is a shame, but I also don't understand him. He said he was trying to cast less focus on looks and more actors who can portray the personality of the game characters, but it ended up with the characters not being either, and the story being a bit of a mess. Also, I wasn't sure where to fit this in, but there were two times where someone should have died. The one I remember being Chris in the house gets crowded by zombies, and when we return to the scene, he's got out somehow. And there was another circumstance like this, but I genuinely just don't remember. The film is going to be mindless fun for Resi fans, and for anyone else, you're probably going to hate it more than us. It is a film that you can laugh at and have fun seeing Resi staples on the big screen, which is what I did, and it probably helped that I didn't go into it expecting a good film. And it sucks because I feel like Resident Evil could make a good film if handled right, which from my understanding it hasn't at all yet. But there is that Netflix show, isn't there? I mean, the adaptation of Claire's great, the adaptation of Chris is solid, but almost everything just comes from weird decisions that no one in their right mind would make. Thank you guys though for watching, and I hope this new format is a bit more entertaining. It's more work to do, admittedly, but it's fun, and I just hope it comes off well. It's a weird film to start the new format on, but hopefully I get into the flow of it and iron things out, because I don't think I'm going to really be able to until I've done a few videos. A bit more of an edited style, I think, is the way I describe it, and hopefully it comes off. Maybe it'll throw some viewers off, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless, because I'm trying to keep the criticizing the genuine like film talk mixed in with a bit more jokiness. That's my aim here with this new kind of formatted of video. But guys, let me know what you thought of Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. It's a real hot mess in my opinion. Whether you're a fan of the game or not, just let me know what you think. I'm very interested to see the general opinion. I've seen better movies. But thank you guys so much, and please do let me know what you think of the new format, because it will be very helpful to hear your opinions. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.